We are live. Here we are. The place to be.
Place to be.
Where to be on your Wednesday afternoon.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Dan. How you going, mate?
We promised the audience that you'd have a podcast today.
And we will provide.
We'll provide?
Yeah.
Good. So we're a bit of the king's table here.
Huh?
It's the king and queen.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
You're the king?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, sweet. Nice.
So, have you been on a podcast before?
No, this is my first one actually. I've listened to heaps, so this is my first one I'm doing, but.
Okay. I'm very interested to see some of these answers
Alright,
that come
mate.
out.
Ask away.
So, you've told me a bit about it before.
Yep.
Training.
Yep.
You started when you were quite young.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started training?
So I started training when I was 5 years old. But that was just like more social and just fun. What?
Actually 5 years old?
Yeah.
Weight training.
Oh wait! I thought you were talking about rugby training.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was like, I wonder if he's
I thought you were
joking.
laughing up behind me. No, wait. You talking about weight training or rugby training?
We'll start with rugby training.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
okay. Since I was 5, I started playing rugby.
Yeah.
So training since I was 5. Got more serious when I was about 12. Started making some rep teams and stuff, and just kept going from there. Once I got to school, I made the CHS side, so that's combined high schools, New South
Combined high
Wales.
schools, yep.
So that's all the high schools in New South Wales. And I made that squad, and then I was the only person that was selected inside the Sydney and New South Wales all schools.
Cool.
So I got selected for both teams, but I was only allowed to play for one of them. So I played for Sydney.
Oh, wait, you were selected for 2 teams,
Yeah.
and everyone else didn't get selected.
No. Well, that were trialling out in both zones, no.
Wow.
I was the
How
only
old were
one.
you- How old were you?
I was 16.
Hmm.
And then from there, I got into the under 17 Gem Blues, under 19 Gem Blue, which is pretty much the Waratah Academy. And unfortunately, I had an injury. I tore my rotator cuff and ruptured my bursa. So that's the fluid sac in your shoulder, if people don't know that. And that was quite severe. So I sort of took 6 months off footy. And then I kept playing footy still outside of school. I went to Gordon for my Colts year. And then I was luckily enough after my Colts to be selected to go into the Aussie Sevens training squad for a bit. So that was with the Aussie Sevens. I was there for 2 weeks. Didn't get a contract, unfortunately. Pretty sure my mate Tristan Riley, he took out a contract, so that was good for him. He got to travel a bit of the world and play on the world stage, which was good. And then I played grade for Gordon, and now I'm back at Eastwood.
Okay. So you started at Eastwood.
Started at Eastwood since I was under 10s all the way to 18s, and I sort of left through the Colts period.
Why is that?
Just better. It was more opportunity there at Gordon. I just felt like their cult system was really good in place, and it turned out to provide better for me as training wise. But I've always wanted to go back home to Eastwood. That was always wanted to play at TG Milner, which is their home ground. So that was a big part of going back home and just playing for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly turn this
Yeah,
down.
that's all right.
Okay. Now, so that's your rugby, and you're still currently playing rugby at the moment?
Yeah, still playing rugby to this date.
Okay. Even with the injured shoulder?
Yes. I went back to training actually yesterday, so on Tuesday. I went back to training and just started to go through the motions a bit and just get my fitness back up. No, not yet. We've got to get back into that. So people that listen to this, I have got a grade 2 shoulder separation, which means my AC has been, it's hard to explain, but the top of my AC has been stretched, my ligament.
Is that going to be fixed or?
So if it's a grade 3, that's a total separation. That's where it needs fixed. That's where you need to get the ligament back onto it. But it's a grade 2, severe grade 2. So it's really stretched, but you can get surgery, but you don't need it.
So it's holding on by a few threads?
Yeah, a few threads.
Yeah,
so we've got to play.
That's all good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect your training at the moment?
It does with the bench press. That's about it. But everything else I'm pretty sweet with.
Okay. Just the bench press. Everything else is good. So, speaking of now you're training, so it wasn't 5 years old?
No, I was not 5 years old when I started training. When I got into weight training, I was getting real serious around when I was 12. Not into weights, but just body weights. My dad made me keep doing push-ups, about 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, probably for a whole year I was doing that. And I was enjoying it a lot. And then I remember my dad, he we moved into this unit, and he bought me some dumbbells, a dumbbell kit just from like Rebel, your standard just dumbbell kit that you can just put on extra weight and stuff like that, mix and change it. Anyway, so he wouldn't buy me a gym membership unless I did 6 months at home with a program which his partner made for me, who was Miss Great Britain bodybuilder back in the day. So she made me a program, and I'd have to show proper form before I was allowed to go to the gym. So 6 months training at home by myself when I was 13. And then once I showed proper form, I think I was about 14 by then. And then my dad bought me a 24-hour Plus Fitness membership. So I was going there and started weight training and stuff since then. Sort of fell off a bit for about a year, but then got real into it once I started playing rugby Colts for Eastwood. And I was in the gym there pretty much 5 days a week.
What made you fall off?
Sort of just maybe because I couldn't pinpoint why I fell off. It was more just the fact I was just at school playing footy. Just, weight training wasn't a priority back then. I was always kind of big for my size, and then I started to grow up a bit more and playing the bigger boys in footy, and I realised, I need to put on a bit more size to, keep up with this, because I wasn't growing too much more in height. So I had to grow in mass and weight. So I got real heavy into the gym, and then pretty much never looked back. I pretty much will be sick if I don't go to the gym like twice a week or something like that. I feel withdrawal symptoms real bad.
Okay.
Yeah, not legit sick,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like I feel an urge to always have to be at the gym or involved with physical activity throughout my week.
Yeah, and I guess you're a pretty pumped up guy. Everyone sees it in the group classes and in sessions as well. Where do you think that stems from? Like all the energy.
Oh, so I actually don't know where it fully stemmed from. I've got a weird childhood growing up, and I always felt that life is too short. I know it sounds so generic and you hear this a lot, but mate, it's too short to even worry about certain things. So like when you're in this group class and when you're doing stuff with people and you get to converse with other people and hear their stories and stuff like that, it's I don't know, just a ball of energy just to be that happy person and just embrace that moment with other people and where I am, and just want to just have fun and enjoy it and just want to like bounce off people and stuff like that. It's sort of some people might think it's an act and stuff like that, but for me, like, that's genuinely how I feel. I just love making people smile, making people feel comfortable and happy, and when I'm doing it, you see other people are allowed to go out their shell too, and some people which is more shy and stuff, and they see that, they sort of open up a bit more too. Once you're like that, but then sometimes that could have a negative effect on people. I could be too open and they'll be a bit of standoffish of me because they just don't know how I might react. But I always had that aspect. When I was growing up, I was real quiet from 7 to 9. I wasn't like that.
Really?
I was more that kid that would sit down, I was nervous about what people think, and then I realised, mate, life's too short to care what people think. You live once, if someone cares about what you say, they can care, but what are they to you at the end of the day? You live your own life, and if they want to, talk shit about you or make you feel bad about yourself, then, they're not really a mate. So be who you want to be. Life's too short not to act like someone that you're not.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so speaking of that happy, crazy energy, does that same energy go into the field? When you're playing rugby?
When I was younger, to a point, 100%. Like, rugby was my life. I didn't see life without rugby. It was only rugby was pretty much driving me through school. The only reason I stayed through year 11 and 12 was to play footy. I didn't really care about the education behind it. I know that sounds pretty bad, but some people, school's not for them, and that was for me. Like, I enjoyed certain subjects like PDH and stuff, but school wasn't for me. I was there for the lunch times, the football, just playing footy with my mates and just interacting with people. It wasn't for the education part. So when I went on the rugby field, I would apply it to 100%, but then I went through some dark patches when I didn't make these squads. I was always getting told when I was growing up, you're too small, you should change position, you're not tall enough to be a flanker. And I was always getting all these negative comments. There was not many positives coming out of it. I was always get told I can read the game and, you're a good player and, you can run around the field well, but it was more, your size is letting you down, or we don't know if you've got that thing yet and stuff like that. And it did hurt, and it made me stop loving the game. It became more of a task. But later on, right now, I'm just finding enjoyment. I'm trying to find enjoyment just to play the sport. And I do find enjoyment through it, 100%. But I had to find it again. And playing last year with Gordon, I lost it. I was playing third grade. I wasn't really enjoying myself. I knew I was better standards than that. I wasn't driving myself. I didn't want to be going to training on Tuesday, Thursdays. Normally, I'd love that. I wasn't involved too much with people, and I would just, when training finishes, I'd just go home, go in my car, and just rugby's done, and just hang out with my schoolmates more often.
Yeah.
So I became in a bit of not a dark place like depressively, but just didn't really care about the footy aspect.
Yep.
But now I found more of a passion for it now, and I just really feel like you live once, and I do feel I've got something good to provide to footy, if it's not just on the field, but maybe coaching wise or helping people out in certain thing. But it's something that I feel I need in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of things that you, or say coaching or something that you wanted to do in your life, what have you previously done as a job before you started personal training at UHP?
Yeah, so I haven't had much of a job repertoire, like haven't done too many things. I was they called it the drug boy back in when I was 14 years old. Well, 11 years old I was, and I worked for a chemist.
Yeah.
I'll get on my bike, grab the people's prescriptions that couldn't come to get them, and I'd ride my bike and drop them off, and I'd get paid $15 for that for 2 hours work. When I was 11, it was nothing. I was getting paid nothing, but it was something, getting a bit of income. It was cool. $15 when you're 11 years old, that's a lot of stuff at the tuck shop.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, I then joined the chemist. I started working at the chemist. I worked at the chemist for about 9 months. Couldn't stand it. I was just packing shells. People would come up to me asking which is better, Swiss or Blackberry, like Blackmores, and I'm like, yeah, no idea. Like, I'm just here packing shells. And I'm like, I don't know. All right, I was 14 years old, just trying to just make easy bucks.
Yeah.
So I didn't lose that job. I just pretty much just didn't show up anymore. I was like, it's not my passion. I didn't really work through school. I was lucky enough that when my grandma passed away, I had a bit of inheritance. So I didn't need to be that kid that was working at Macca's or anything. I sort of had money there, which was bad too at the same time, because I never learnt responsibility of working and managing stuff. It was just go to school, go home, go out with your mates, that's it.
Yeah.
So once I finished school, it was a big shock to me, because I had to then, pick up my game, start a job. So I became a labourer, landscape gardener, labourer. Did that for 2 years straight. I got stuck in it. I was only meant to be there for 6 months. But while I was doing my personal training license, because I always wanted to go into personal training, or deep down I wanted to be a physio, but then I realised education-wise, I could apply myself to it, but it's having the ability to do it for 6 years, and I knew I would just give up eventually. So I then, sorry, I thought Brad was looking at me. And then,
That's all right.
Yeah, so then I was labourer for 2 years, and then actually, it's funny enough, Brad sent me a message just once I was thinking about doing labouring, and he sent me a message saying, oh, you're still doing personal training, you still doing that? And I was like, yeah, still doing that, man. And I was thinking about joining Fitness First. He's like, oh, just come down here, and I came down here, and then ever since then I just decided to stay here. But other than that, my jobs were just labourer, a drug runner, drug boy, and just worked at the chemist packing shelves. Nothing else really. I just a bit of cashies here and there, doing a bit of training for people, and just like rugby training, nothing like personal training wise, and that's about it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of your, let's see, where your mind was at was definitely on rugby, was it? Yeah,
that's all I knew pretty much.
Yeah.
That's all I focused on was rugby, because I as a kid growing up was the dream to play for the Wallabies, and when you start to grow up and you hit 18, it gets a bit upsetting, but your dream that you've dreamed for so long wanting to do, and you can't see it at the end of the tunnel at the end, so you don't feel that you can actually get there, not because you're not applying yourself. Maybe I wasn't applying myself as much as I could have, but it was more that that many setbacks of just getting told you're too small and stuff. Maybe my mind frame just veered off a bit, and I would let down myself maybe at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, starting on board as a personal trainer now, how have you found, we already talked about the training process before, but how have you found your whole experience from, let's say, as a worker, as a trainer to a lot of the clients, as a trainer within like other people's clients' sphere, let's say, how have you found the whole experience?
Good, great actually. Not just good, great. It makes me understand a passion which I thought I had, and it became to more realisation once I've been here of training with people that want to be trained, and working in an environment which is physical, like more hands-on and personal training like that. Like, that's something that I've always wanted to be involved in. As a physio, like when I was growing up, I wanted to be a physio, and the only reason I wanted to be a physio is because I remember playing rugby, and the physios were there watching the rugby, and they were massaging people, and it's just like you're always there at the rugby games, and you're always like helping people out. It's a good environment to be in.
Yeah.
So, but then I realised once I started joining the gym, I was like, I love the gym. I just wanted to be in the gym. So then it came second nature. Why not do something I love? Add them both together. Get paid to help people train.
Yeah.
And then since I've been here, I've understood to a whole new world what actually personal training is. And it sounds funny. The other day I sent a photo to my mate of me doing a program.
Yeah.
Right? I shout out to Tommy Hurst just in case he hears this. All right? No, it's good.
Tommy?
Yeah, exactly. So I showed him it, and I was just like, I'm making a program. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's all right. You're just making a program, like, that's it. I'm like, no, like, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just making a program and going to the gym and just watching their form. But it's tracking their steps, tracking their sleep, tracking their diet, making sure they're okay. Because you're not just there to go in, get their money and leave them. You're like their mate. You're their, not like a counsellor, but to some respect you are. Yeah. If they've got problems and they've had a hard day at work and they're coming here to gym, you're their next line of support. If they don't have a family there with them, and they're coming into gym, they're upset, you're the person they're going to lean to and talk to. You're the person that you see them 3 times a week. You know, you're constantly reminding them to eat their food, track their sleep. You're like their mum and dad at the end of the day.
Far out.
Yeah.
I got to do more sessions with you.
Yeah, no. Like, I've only just started, and obviously when I first started, I got real flustered because I'm just like, because Brad showed me all these things you guys do, and I thought it was just simple: come in, program, train them, make sure good form, go home. But it's like, no, go in, do it, everything's done. Once you leave, you're still working. You know, you're still, like, I'm not saying I'm constantly on my feet on my laptop. No way. I still got time. Okay, but you always, if you get a message from your client and they go, oh, is this food good, or I'm going out tonight, like, is this okay to eat? Is this too high in carbs, too low in fat, blah, blah, blah. You got to be able to, send them a message, let them know, okay? And then if they're slacking off, if they're not tracking their steps, their sleep, you got to be able to, in the fight, pick it up in 5 days, because you don't want it to keep going longer, because bad habits will lead to, bad results.
Yeah.
So you want to jump on that ASAP. So you want to check every 3 days, you check everyone's programs, sleep, steps, and then you got to go send them a message, hey, just make sure you're just logging them in, or how you going, just, see how they are, and stuff like that. So once I've joined here, I've actually got to understand what personal training, actually is, and what you guys do, above and beyond what they'll do at Fitness First and what they'll do at stuff. And I'm not saying they're bad PTs over there. There's definitely some great PTs over there. But
what do you think that is? Do you think it's just not the unknown? Do you think it's just, I thought this is what I was supposed to do?
Yes, I feel like it's that too, but I feel like it's easy access. Anyone can be a personal trainer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do a course, and I did a course, and I've seen people go into that course, and you can fail, and you get to go again and again. You can just pay money to get it. You know what I mean? And it's so easy accessible, and everyone loves the lifestyle because you're sort of your own boss to some extent. You can choose your hours. Legitimately you can't to an extent, but you can. So if a client says to me, say I want to go out on a Saturday night, and they say, oh, you want to train Saturday night, I'll be like, oh, no, sorry, I can't, I'm busy. I'll do another time. So I'm my own boss. I can sort of manage it. Yeah. So everyone sees that easy lifestyle, as people go, I've had 4 clients in the morning, I'm off to the beach, having my beautiful acai bowl, and now I've got 2 clients later tonight, and you see that, and you go, oh, look at that person living their life, still getting paid, they're in the gym being active.
Yeah.
Such an appealing lifestyle that some people take away, that all they care about is that lifestyle, but not actually providing service.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel what happens. But I'm not saying at Fitness First and a place like Anytime, they're all bad PTs. There's 100%, there's some great PTs, but I feel there's more not as good PTs out there as there are good. I feel it's hard to find the good.
Yeah.
And once you find a good PT, you actually understand the value and stuff that they give you, and you actually cherish finding those PTs, because sometimes it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And it's really hard to find them, and then that's why when I'm at this gym, I see them. There's about 5 here easily, and it's just what they do for their clients. They're videoing all the time when they're doing. They're not making sure they go up in weight all the time. They're making sure, sorry, today we might have to go down 10 kilos because your form's a bit off. We might have to regress, All right, and the clients sometimes do get upset, but they understand that we're not doing it because it upsets us. We want to see them improve. It's not like we want to see them go down weight. It doesn't make us happy, but we're trying to do it for the beneficial of them throughout. So long term, their lifting is better.
Yeah.
And you don't see that in those gyms. You don't see any of that.
Actually, that's a good point that you bring up. Like the fact that someone would back off a weight, even though they know the client's probably going to be upset, is still good in itself, because it's like they're thinking more long term for the client, as opposed to just, make him happy.
Exactly. Because
just half squat, it's all good.
Exactly. I could jump my clients up, some of them by 10 kilos right now, but their form goes out the door. But yeah, you've lifted weight A to B, and yeah, it's great. You feel good, you feel strong, but deep down, all you're doing is bad habits. And eventually, when we go heavier, there's going to be posterior chain problems, or there's going to be problems throughout the whole lift, and then you're going to rely on other muscles, and other muscles won't get used, which they should. So
and the imbalances form.
You need exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, not so much imbalances, but training.
Yep.
What are your current training gym goals at the moment?
So, my goals for my squat bench dead, was it? Or just
squat
all
bench
goals?
Dead or accessories?
So, anything. My squat bench dead. I didn't really do much of my dead. I'm never a conventional deadlifter. Like, I was always sumo, just because it was easier for me, because I'm short statured. I can bring my legs out wide and the weight doesn't have to move too far. But I'm getting into conventional now. I'd love to do 4 plates for that, 180. I've done 175 3 years ago. So I think the thing is with my goals, I think I aimed it real low, which is not the best sometimes.
175 to 180?
Yeah, exactly. And I did that 3 years ago, so I should be able to do it now. But I reckon it's going to be a lot harder with the good form.
Okay.
My 175, I did it. Yeah, it went up, but I don't know how good my form was. So
Tell everyone your bench.
Yeah, I did 155 bench. That was great. But then eventually it led to me having stress fractures through my clavicle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, it did.
Okay.
So I had stress fractures through my clavicle because the way I was benching, as the bar would come down, I would sort of bounce it off my chest a bit, and my elbows, instead of staying tucked in, they'd come out. Yeah. So I'd put a lot of stress on my shoulders. So that then eventually led to a lot of problems down the road. Well, not a lot of problems, but like 2 months of just deloading all my training and being real upset, because I'm like, I used to bench 155 and now I'm only benching 105, but I realised, I'm doing better for my body.
So would you suggest people don't bounce it off their chest?
No, not really. But if you watch the combine and NFL people, they do that. So whatever works for some people sometimes. But no, I don't recommend it one bit. You know, it's good getting that weight A to B, but deep down you're not really doing yourself self-justice. So I'd like to get a 140 bench, 160 bench, but 140 proper form.
Yeah.
That's my goal, but I'd love a 160. And squat, I'd love to hit 200.
Oh, so you want a bigger squat than your dad?
Yeah, big time.
Oh, really?
Right. Oh, okay. Actually, I want both. I want everything. No, 200, and then 160.
Okay.
Okay. I love it, but I'm trying to make myself realistic goals, because it's hard to. I don't know. Well, Brad's my PT now, so he'll be able to tell me. But during rugby, I find it hard. I can maintain strength, but I find it hard to gain, because I'll be training Tuesdays, Thursdays, playing Saturdays. So my training splits would be a Monday training in the gym, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And my Thursdays, I don't want super hard and taxing on the body. So my Monday and Tuesdays, I'd rather work hard. And then Thursdays, I'd rather still get my volume in, but the intensity a bit lower, just so Saturday I'm not fatigued.
Can you do a bench day on Thursday?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
But then I'm worried sometimes when I finish Saturdays, I'm a bit tired Sundays and then Mondays, because if I have a big game, and I come in and my legs are sore, my body's aching, and then I got to go squat 180 now on Mondays. Yeah. It's hard. So during rugby, I find it difficult to even keep consistent gym, like keeping consistently in the gym. But then also when I'm off season, mate, just animal in the gym. That's all I want to do. 5 days a week, be here. That's because I've got no rugby now.
Yeah.
And I love, because I play rugby because I love, tackling and that, releasing testosterone. So I love being at the gym and just going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's to me, it sounds like you're addicted to the endorphin rush you get when you do something that's difficult.
100%. I always want to challenge myself. Once you start doing things, which if you become complacent in life, you don't develop as a person, I feel. So you got to go out your boundaries all the time. And if you're going to be that person which is going to just stay in their boundaries all the time, you're just going to realise life's going to become to a plateau, and you'll sit there and 2 years, 3 years, 4 years go past, and you sort of go, oh Jesus, I'm 4 years older now and I'm still in the same place.
Yeah.
So always try and go outside your comfort zone, try something new, even if you don't like it. I always hear these people saying, like, who can mock you or tease you for trying something?
Yeah.
Like, who can put you down for giving something a go? Like, if someone's doing that, then you don't have the real mates around you, you know. Give something a go, always give it a go. Because then you won't know if you love it, do you? So just give it a go. If you don't like it, then you can walk away and go, okay, maybe that's not my thing. But at least you gave it a go.
Perfect. Wise words from Harry.
Yeah, I know. God, should be a preacher now.
I know. Well, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Too easy.
That's about all I've got to say. And thank you for sharing a lot of your previous history and also your goals that you have for the future.
Yeah, 100%.
It's good to see. So if you guys see Harry around at the gym, remember to wave, say hi. He's happy. He wants to say hi to you as well.
Yeah,
so,
have a chat. I'm all ears. You got any questions about anything? Like, you got any questions about footy, anything about, like, anything I've said or anything like that, or you just want someone to talk to, always here to help. I've never judged anyone. I've got a very diverse background, which we haven't gone into, but my family life is I've gone through a lot of things which I might be able to relate to some people. So if you ever need to have a chat or ever here, just always have a chat, come have a talk to me, or any of us really, because I feel like we're all the same. It's not just me. I think we're all the same here. So
perfect.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Namaste.